Hi, I'm Suzanne McNeill, and today I'm here at International Quilt Market, and I have such exciting things. This is one of our favorites. Have you seen the 10-minute blocks yet? So let me show you real quick how this is done. Okay, I start with 5 squares. One of those squares I fold in half. All right. Next thing I do is I take 3 of those squares. Now there are only 3 seams to this block. So I'm going to sew the first seam and sandwich that one that's folded in half in the middle. The next step is to take the other 2 squares and put those on the other end, and that's seam number 2. Now I have sort of a little bridge shape here. So I'm going to refold it. I'm going to open up the pocket in the center, and this is the only seam that I like to pin. So I've pinned this 3rd seam here, and when I open this, it's like miraculously that center square is on point. Isn't that fabulous? Okay, so that center square, I can either stitch it down, just top stitch it. I could use a decorative stitch around here. Or what I like to do is I love the cathedral roll. This is on the bias, and it's sealed so that rolls back perfectly every time. And all I need to do then is just top stitch that edge down. So let me show you parts of a couple quilts. Here's a beautiful quilt. This one I fussy cut in the center of the square. And this is done out of a jelly roll. Or someone said they'd like to do it out of striped fabric. That'd be even faster. Here's another quilt, totally different setting, but you can see it's exactly the same technique. And if you're pretty good at math, you might notice that here is a finished quilt. This one has 6 blocks, 10 minutes each. So the whole top in less than an hour, and just add a simple border around the edge. So let me show you a couple other versions of the same pattern. Here I have a pattern for Tutti Frutti. These are all the 10-minute blocks, and these are done with fat quarters. Isn't that a beautiful quilt? I just used a fat quarter pack from Hoffman to make that one. And over here, this one is lemongrass, a really beautiful batik fabric from Timeless Treasures. And this one, they have matching squares and strip sets. So all this fabric was pre-cut. So 10-minute blocks. Yeah. Now I want to show you another magical technique. Any level of quilter can do this, even beginning quilters, and it just looks so fabulous. It's amazing. So this is a method I developed called twist and turn. And with this one, I start with 1 square for each block and 1 rectangle. For the rectangle, I fold that edge under, and then I fold that into a triangle, and I line that up on one edge of my square. Now sometimes I use big triangles and sometimes I use little triangles. So the next step is to again just top stitch that triangle down so that becomes a finished block. Or I personally always do that same cathedral roll because it's so perfect every time, and it just gives your quilt the look of curved seams, but every seam is straight. So let me show you the book. Here's the book, and let me just show you how easy our instructions are. So remember this block that I made. Here it is right here. I took 4 of those blocks and made a pinwheel. And then here is the pinwheel quilt. Anyone can do this quilt. So let me show you a few others. Here is a totally different setting, but same technique. So on this quilt, half of the blocks look like this. The other half look like this. When I put them together, I get this wonderful curvy, wavy look to my quilt. The next one is, here's this block. So I used all this shaped block. You can see I put them together, sort of topsy-turvy. And when I'm finished, here is this beautiful looking quilt. Now this one I used a layer cake to make it, so all these 10-inch squares were pre-cut, and it has a wonderful scrappy look. Here's another one. This one's sort of like it's just like an optical illusion. So half of the squares look like this. The other half are just plain. And when I put those together, you can see that it looks like a very difficult quilt. But you saw how simple it was to construct those blocks. And here's another one. This one's just 2 colors. Half the blocks are negative and half the blocks are positive. Again, when you put them together, it's like this beautiful optical illusion that's caused in this quilt. So these are the twist and turn technique. Any level quilter can do these, and they're just fabulous. So again, what's available in the 10-minute blocks is the book, the pattern for Tutti Frutti, and the pattern for lemongrass. Just beautiful pieces that you can make up. There's a gorgeous quilt, 10 minutes a block.